Everybody, I'm Gogito and I'm bringing you guys the 600 subscribe special video. This is actually pretty good because this will actually be considered a motivational travel from my past. It is practically something that I would have done a long time ago as Gogito himself. Of course, let me tell you guys a little bit of a backstory. Now, of course, the existence of Gogito would still remain in the multiverse or even every timeline. But eventually, Gogito would have met me, the creator of the Gogito Cosmic channel. Of course, both of us would be confused since I thought that he was unreal, and of course, Gogito would be confused as well. But eventually, because of our influence on one another due to being almost the same being, we were practically unconsciously merged together, and eventually I was actually able to gain a full control over the body, and eventually even have all of Gogito's memories. I'll be confused with what happened, but eventually I was able to use the Super Dragon Balls, or the mythical Dragon Balls that I created thanks to my Gogito counterpart. Of course, after I found out that with mythical Shenron explained to me that because of two beings existing at the same time in a parallel world, it means that we practically both merge so we can keep balance between the entire existence. Because if only two of us existed with one with no power and one with incredible power, that would mean that it would be no balance. You have to be one. You have to be one creator. So I'll have to be Gogito himself. Of course, I decided to probably take on this since I already have Gogito's memories. So of course, I probably decided to travel and eventually meet some of my what if universe I created. I was pretty surprised and even impressed at how well they're going. Eventually, I would actually accidentally go into one multiverse I actually thought that I'll never go. Being what if I was in Tensura? Of course, I was pretty confused to look around, but eventually I will meet my other self, who is of course the true dragon of domination and power, which of course will be none other than Galenz's Dragonoid, or Galenz's. Of course, Galenz will just look at me and ponder if I'm a threat or not, so deciding to not take any chances, he tries to attack me. Of course, I would be pretty surprised but I'm able to defend against him, something that I'm not an enemy, but he would not listen to me as he continues to attack me. Of course, I was able to try power up. Eventually, I realized that I might be able to test myself. So I power to my Ultra form, a combination between Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. I want to see how strong I am, since I've not been able to test my power. Of course, I've been testing it on other versions of Goku and Vegeta, but in comparison to a powerful version of myself was a different story. So I decided to battle him, and eventually our battle will be pretty impressive. I'll even power up a lot more, with my power increasing to immense. I would roar as I would increase my power, shaking the entire Tensura world as my other self would be surprised and shocked. Glaze would step back as I'll power up, with my aura exceeding something even he did not expect, with my power shaking the entire world, with me telling him that I'm not just any mortal, but I'm the creator of different multiverses, so he should not underestimate me. Of course, Glaze was surprised, but I would decide to power up to one of my strongest forms, or what I've actually thought would be my strongest forms. Little did I know about Gogito that he has actually been training after I created his what if, meaning he has achieved many other forms, and I actually had a knowledge of them, but I had to bluff so I can practically see how strong Galenz's version of myself is. So I power up to my Omni Super Saiyan form and tell him to bring it on. With my power skyrocketing, I'll shake the entire Tensura world with just my presence alone. Of course, Galenz will decide to go into his true form and eventually fall against me, with both of us clashing one another. Galenz would have used a drawing fire tornado against me, but I'm easily able to defend myself. Of course, I'll just stand there unfazed and I tell him if that's all he got. Of course, he'll be surprised and shocked as I'll punch him, sending him flying. I'll tell him that no matter what he does, he has to go all out in his true state, his true power, as a true dragon. Of course, Galenz just smiles and tells me that I'm pretty cocky. But I tell him that I know that, but isn't he not as well? Of course, Galenz will just smile and then ask his system, or of course, Raphael, if who I am, of course. With of course Raphael explaining that I'm known as the individual of Gogito, the creator of different timelines that I've been creating, alongside a different version of him. Of course, Galenz would be surprised and shocked, but he decides to practically see how strong I am. Of course, with the snap of my fingers, I'm able to practically wrap us around the infinite void of space. Of course, Galenz will be surprised he sees the infinite void. It was actually when the beginning of the entire Tensura world. So practically Galenz to see everything back to where it belonged, he practically was pretty surprised and even shocked to see my power. I told him that in here no one will intervene in our battle, not even Tiamat, so he better be prepared. Of course, Galenz will just power up and eventually would have increased his power. Using the power his own power, he will increase his power as a rainbow aura starts to surround him, increasing his immense strength as he was using almost all his skills at the same time. I'm pretty impressed by his power, and eventually he would then shout, Dragon Override! With this, of course, he would send a gigantic explosion at me. But of course, I would just boost my aura so I can even take the damage. But I was pretty surprised as his power was immense. I'm pretty impressed by him and even tell him that he's pretty impressive. But I'm still not trying. I, of course, would just smile at him and eventually power up even more. I would just tell him that no matter what he does, our battle will still continue on like this. Eventually, both me and Gilles will continue to battle and clash with one another. Our battle will be going for almost 10 years at time. Gilles will be surprised that I can keep up with him, thinking that I have infinite stamina, but little did he know I had a limited amount of it. We will continue to battle and even exchange blows and punches. Even though Gilles was gigantic and comparable to me, my power was able to make the difference. And because of me being shorter than Gilles, his size difference did not matter to me. I was easily able to toss him around the void and even punch him and send him flying, and even fire multiple Kamehamehas at him, sending him flying and even shock him with my power. Of course, Gilles does use some of his skills to practically trying to devour me, but with my resistance being so much stronger than his, I'm able to resist his skills and even punch him, sending him flying. Gilles will be praised by my power as he continues to increase power further and further, trying to utilize as many techniques and moves as he can to even try to push me back or injure me. But how much he tries will be no matter to me, because I will easily able to practically defend against all with ease. I will tell him that it's time for me to utilize more power. Of course, this will be in shock as I increase my aura, with my aura growing increasing in red as I shake the entire void and then starts to crack it. Gilles will be in shock as he looks around and sees the void cracking on itself. Of course, Gilles will be confused, and I just tell him that it's time for me to reveal a little bit of my true power, as I say 10% Omniform. As of course Gilles hears this, the entire void shatters into nothing, as we are in seemingly like a space between galaxies, if not even more. It was practically covered in multiple galaxies, so many that Gilles could not even tell if we are back on Tensura or not. I'll tell him that we are between the entire space between timelines. So this place is known to be the center and core of every timeline, known as Universe Zero, or Multiverse Zero. Of course, this will be a surprise to Gilles, and I tell him that this multiverse is practically incredibly empty, since it was the beginning of every multiverse. But eventually, after due time, this multiverse was completely erased, and eventually was nothing but a husk of its previous self. I tell him that I most likely use this multiverse to train myself and to not damage any other multiverse or timelines, so I can make sure that they're okay. Of course, it surprises Gilles to even see that how strong I am. I tell him that no matter what he does, he will have to fight me nonetheless. Gilles, of course, powers up even more interested to fight me, and eventually, after some time, I'm able to defeat Gilles. Of course, I will just smile slightly, and eventually, I'll power down. I will just smile at him and tell him that this was an incredibly good fight, and I had really good fun out of it. Of course, Gilles would have been surprised that I actually was not even trying to kill him or anything like that. I thought Gilles actually wanted to test him, to see how strong he is. He's another version of myself, so of course, I should not underestimate myself. But of course, Gilles would just smile and tell me that I'm pretty impressive, with me just telling that it's no problem, as I'm used to it. Of course, Gilles will tell me that I'm pretty strong, and even more powerful than any opponent he's ever faced, even more than his brother Valdenava. I will just tell him that it's no problem, and if he ever wants to practically fight me again, or maybe even join me, he can practically join the new group I will be practically assembling, which will be a different versions of myself, who practically will join the team, and will be known as the Cosmic Team. Beings who can practically reach the power of the gods, and even beyond that, and achieve the power of Cosmic. Of course, Gilles will be pretty impressed by the name and even consider this. He'll tell me that in maybe due time he would think about it, but for now his answer is unclear. But I tell him that he can take his time, for his timeline moves much more faster than mine, so I won't have to practically wait that long. I of course wish him good luck, and eventually Gilles leads back to his original world, as I'll just smile slightly, think to myself, I guess he's pretty strong, I guess when I made him in Tensura, I should have expected to be strong, but it seems I'm still more powerful as well. Since being this powerful does bring benefits. Well, I guess I should go to another timeline or multiverse so I can see if I can meet a national version of myself. I wonder who I should choose next. Probably Soul Leveling System. It would be pretty interesting to face him. And this is the end for this part. Hope you guys enjoy this part. I'll see you guys in the next one. Sign out everyone. I'll see you next time. Also, if you want another video of this, please get me to 700 and maybe I'll do a second part to this what if. or even this video. I'll see you guys next time. Sayonara, my Z fans.